Today I wanted to speak about specifically what's going on in the world. In the world, there's a lot of narcissistic individuals that are starting to become not just popular by mainstream, but they're starting to be accepted and normalized. And we were never used to seeing this type of phenomenon becoming a real fact that we have to live by these people now. I was watching this particular stream that it became popular, which I'm not going to go and critique or review the whole thing because it's not my business, and it's basically something that I don't really have an interest in, but it was just pretty interesting to see how things are turning out for this individual that, props to him. He's a professional bodybuilder and weightlifter from what I've seen, and he's married to this girl he married out of Dubai. If you know who I'm referring to, which I'm not going to mention any names for now because I don't need to get any negativity on this channel. Technically, she's from the Balkans of Europe, a specific Balkan country under Hungary. That's pretty much, how much detail I'm going to include about this video. The main reason it brought my attention is not because how the wife is treating him or how people are perceiving the situation or accusations or assumptions. There's something more to the story. It's basically narcissistic personality traits are starting to become a thing now, and it's going to start to soon spread across everybody. Then people are going to start to act the same way because everybody imitates everybody. See, what happened to intellectualism? Back in the day, we used to have leaders, presidents that were really intellectual. They had very good not just public speaking skills, but also they knew what they were talking about. They sounded very professional, and we started declining, and there's a lot of implosions going on. Everything is imploding. But what can we do? There's not much that we can do as a community. We don't have a lot of effect. We don't have a lot of the best word I can describe, we don't have a lot of dent to put into this new society that is about to become completely in total opposite that we were used to at one time. See, as a person myself, I was never really invested in politics. I always thought politics was kind of like a distraction. It never seemed to be quite real because it never made sense how a president can just have the power and give it to the next one, because usually when human greed is on the table, he gets that opportunity, he doesn't want to leave the power. He's going to do whatever he can to stay in it. And of course, I understand the U.S. government has courts, has checks and balances, checks and balances. It has a lot of courts, ruling, Supreme Court, you name it. But technically, you can have all the Supreme Court you want. Is who really has the power? Or how does it really shifting? Or how does this, government things work? But anyway, I'm not here about politics or of any topic relating to politics. What I'm saying is basically intellectualism is about to die. It's about to become something of the past, and we're probably going to see a lot of distortion, misinformation, people being misled, people getting raged by anything now, and it's kind of like a concern of mine. I quite understand for a lot of us, or a lot of you guys who are listening to this video, you guys don't really mind because we're already living this particular dark world. The only reason that I'm kind of worried about it, I don't really care anymore whatever occurs in the world, because honestly nobody has ever cared besides them, ourselves, or we're all selfish. So where can I get to? If people are not realizing how AI works, how these AI videos are misinforming, or how all these propaganda videos are appearing in Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, I'm not going to disclaim or try to make assumptions that people are wrong by using these clips. I understand you're trying to push either an agenda or an information, or you're just trying to bring the topic across, but it's usually to rage bait, make people mad, because it's not considered monetizing publicity to promote whatever. If you do a very good job, then you're going to get a lot of promotions from other figures, and that is where you got to be extremely careful on what we read and not just fall for it. And this is why I still really try to encourage critical thinking, learn how to really research all these topics, which I'm still doing that to today, because I don't want to get into any particular cult. And so here's another reason what I made it, and this is where I'm going to go a little bit more inside of my origins, where I came from, where passion traveler. So honestly, a lot of us had a normal childhood or normal teenage years, depending on if it worked out for you or not. People in the blacker and the mixer might have had a little bit more difficult because of looks, height, or maybe sometimes you're neurodivergent and it kind of affects you because people don't quite understand. People just assume whatever. Because people still remain ignorant. Even when I was growing up, a lot of people had a lot of ignorance on specific topics when it came to people's different behavior patterns. But obviously, if you don't belong to the crowd, you don't belong. You never will. But anyway, so when I was growing up, I kind of had to really, I don't know if you can call it forced or brainwashed, whatever is the best word to describe. You be the judge. So I grew up in a cult. I grew up in a Christian sect. If you guys never heard of the Watchtower Tract Society or Jehovah's Witnesses, it's a religion or Christian-based religion according to them. But in reality, it never really seemed like the other Christian or religion, because when I used to go to school with other Christian kids, they had more freedom, they had less judgmental point of view of trying to describe everybody. Because in Watchtower or Jehovah's Witnesses, you're already taught how to think, you're taught what to believe, you're expected to live by the rules and protocols and have that design lifestyle, or else you're going to be shown, you're going to be not taken away, like they're going to come and take you. Basically, they're going to take away your thing, your only possession in the real world is your family. If your family's fully indoctrinated and they're fanatically religious and they truly believe that's like the only way to live life, then they're going to shun you if you don't follow along all of their rules, because obviously they want you to stay there forever, become an asset for them. Basically that's how I had to grow up with, and kind of explains why I missed out on teenage love. You guys don't know for sure, because I'm assuming a lot of people don't really know about this religion or what really goes inside, besides they're just known for not celebrating birthdays or holidays, or they're known for knocking on your doors or being outside of the stores with a little card trying to publicize their magazines or their literature propaganda. So I didn't grow up with teen love. I was kind of sheltered to begin with, as it was considered the best method not to get corrupted into the outside world, because according to them, the outside world, it's filled with demons, it's controlled by the opposite enemy, which is the devil. Typical low IQ nonsense. But after I grew up out of it, I got to realize how I got involved with a lot of narcissistic individuals, and I could see how people were so vulnerable to information. People could not tell the difference if they were being played, they were being distracted, or lied to. They could not tell one thing from another, because they were so brainwashed. They were easy to manipulate. They were extremely vulnerable to all their propaganda. And yeah, some of these individuals were narcissistic, and this is another thing. This religion did bring narcissistic people inside, because it's like narcissistic people do love these particular organizations or events, because they can kind of exploit their talent onto others, to prey on others. So after leaving this, I thought I was going to be happier. I thought I was finally free from all these judgmental people that I was once part of. And now, after exiting it for a couple of years now, I could not believe that nothing has ever changed. It's just another, basically you're just leaving a small cult sect for something way bigger, or something that it's too unexplainable in the world. In the world, there's a lot of goals. There's a lot of people that are blinded by any type of propaganda. But I've been seeing how it's now mainstream. Like, I'm not going to go into full detail. I understand some of these influencers are popular. I get that. You know, you might have a little bit of admiration for them because of their success. But these narcissistic people, they're going to really normalize this typical lifestyle, and it's going to make this world even worse than what it already is. And so the only thing I can recommend you, because I don't know how you feel, I don't know if you notice all these patterns, but just learn how to do your research, learn how to do credible think, learn how to get away from it, and be happy with yourself, man. And really embrace your mental freedom, your single lifestyle. I'm not saying do not get married or do get married. It's up to you, whatever you please to do for yourself. As I'm not nobody. I'm not going to tell you I don't agree with marriage, or you shouldn't either. I'm not like that. I'm just telling you why I don't agree with marriage anymore. Marriage for me has always been not just a scam, but a form of slavery, just to keep you occupied from other things that you need to focus on in life. Unfortunately, a lot of people are still brainwashed by this fantasy lie that has been drilled into our minds. Once you do your full digestion analysis of marriage, things that can go good or bad, you start to realize there's more cons than pros. Yeah, the only pros is, love, affection, sharing bonds, having family together, pleasures, biological pleasures. But what is the cons? Boredom. First of all, boredom. When you're getting married, you're going to get bored. You're going to start to dislike each other. A lot of indifferences when it comes to personality traits. Regards if you guys share common interests, but it's never going to be the same because you're a unique person. And then sometimes the kids can change the mother, change the wife. After birth, you never know exactly how she's going to turn out to be because, they do change, believe it or not. They can manipulate your kids against you. They can, and you have to also take in consideration, once you get older, you make new friends, or you meet new people, or you discover things. So there's a lot to think about. But I'm not talking about marriage now. I'm just talking about be happy with yourself. Think about all the decisions you're going to be making now, because time is very limited. Time is very small. There's never enough time. Life goes way too quickly. We're still not able to get across from specific knowledge that we should have, which is how to really live happy. And nobody knows for sure, because happiness has been designed what we think is happy. Religion, the movies, your parents, your teachers, your school environment kind of told you what is happiness. They kind of designed it a way where it makes it very appealing to you. But here's the thing, though. I do remember when I was younger, I did dream having the cars, having a beautiful girl, working hard, getting a career. But I noticed it was all slavery. Once you get a new car, it's not really yours until you paid it off. And let's face it, not everybody has the ability to become rich. It doesn't even matter if you have a good IQ or you make a business, but if you don't know the loopholes of how to become filthy rich, and it's going to be just another lifestyle. That you might have a career or you might have a business that gives you 6 figures, but you still have to pay the IRS. Takes a lot of your money. You have debt on yourself, because for me, take it from my advice. From my experience, when you buy a car, you're never going to see the title until it's fully paid off. But that's like a couple years, and you don't even know for sure if you're going to be able to pay it off, or you have to sell it because you have no other options. As maybe you lost your job, you might have not make the same anymore. A lot of things can go wrong, and let's say that I'm grateful that none of that has ever happened. But once you have materialistic things, it's not really happiness, it's slavery. You're just having debt. And in reality, everything updates. Cars update. You're never happy with the one you have, regardless of the brand. If you have a brand new Lexus or a Mercedes or a BMW, then the next year comes and it has new gadgets, has new cooler things, and you think about it. it's a very difficult task to get by. And when you think about the beautiful woman, now that we know looks is what really makes it sure that she's into you, or else it's basically for other things. It's still slavery. You have to. You're always going to be in competition with others, and that's kind of sad. You're always competing. You're always insecure. Believe it or not, people say you're not. Men are insecure, but here's the thing: once you have a very aesthetically a pleasing woman, she is always going to become the target of others, and sometimes others might convince her. Or you're always going to be constant stress because you don't know if she's going to leave you, or if she's going to do something shitty against you, or you never know. It's a slavery mindset. And I have nothing against women. I don't dislike them. I don't hate them. I still feel attracted to them. It's just this society has been lying to us for a long time. Beautiful women or beautiful men don't know how to really control their mindset. Once they find out that they are extremely appealing, they have all this attention. Some of them go ballistic. Some of them don't know how to control it. So technically, that's why it became more simple. I kind of moved on. I don't have any pity for myself. I don't envy. I don't have any hatred. Everybody has their free will to do or live the world they want to live in, because at the end of the day, it's your peace versus others. But one thing I'm concerned is narcissistic is on the rise, and sooner or later, even marriage is going to collapse, because you don't even know if this person is an actual narcissist or he's just imitating what he sees online. But what I'm noticing is basically they're normalizing it. It's like people are now craving religion, they're craving cultish environments, which is kind of devastating because it's how you end up being a slave again. But I'm not going to say much. It's up to everyone's individual to find out for its own good if it's basically what they want to live in or change it. But if you don't really contribute to none of this popular culture, then it can die out easily, and people can realize that we've been living lies and manipulation. But if you just follow the crowd for a long time, they're just going to evolve to other things. But at the end of the day, it depends on who ends up being attracted to this popular culture society, or who doesn't. But you guys decide. But that's pretty much what I have for today. I hope you guys liked the video. I was going to write this in a speech form, but I didn't have enough time. And plus, some of these ideas just come automatically. So I'd rather make the video now before I forget, specific things. But so I understand if it's not organized or I'm all over the places. Like I've said, I only make videos in my car when nobody's around me, and I can be freely and talk without any precautions, and I feel safe. And yes, I might not be a professional public speaker, or it might not make sense all the time. I am trying to improve. But all right, guys, you guys have a good weekend, and peace out.